Hi. Good evening. I would like to warn you first, because you will have to make do with my French Gallic accent. So tonight we are going to talk about a complicated matter. Basically, it's to enable you to understand what is going to take place tomorrow, the so-called Ogoh-Ogoh performance you see in the streets of Ubud and Bali. But in order to understand that, I have to give you see, a depiction of the whole system, of the general calendar system. Because what you are going to see tomorrow is just a small part of a much bigger circle of events. The first thing perhaps you should know is that in Bali we have two main calendars. We have a calendar of a duration of 210 days, and this calendar deals with human life. And this calendar is organized around the prohibition of incest, in that sense that the last week of the calendar is a week of the incestuous son, and the first week of the next cycle is the incestuous mother. I won't depict this calendar because it's not the one we are talking about tonight, even though this first calendar is arguably the most important when it comes to defining what it is possible to do on a daily basis. I am going to discuss about the second type of calendar, the solar lunar calendar of 354 days, which has to be adjusted every 7 or 8 years in order to suit within the solar system. It's within this calendar system, which we call the Saka calendar, that the Ogoh-Ogoh event takes place. I must add that this calendar system in the cycle of ceremonies deals not with human life, but deals with the world, with what we call the Buana in Balinese. My purpose is to enable you to understand what is taking place during the whole year, with a peak tomorrow and after tomorrow. After that, we can and will discuss about other aspects of the calendar, especially what are the Ogoh-Ogoh, and at the same time also, perhaps we are going to discuss with you the fact that the Balinese New Year is probably falling on the same day as Eid al-Fitr. You see, the Muslim end of the fasting. So it creates a number of problems we might have to discuss. But let's go back to the solar lunar calendar. From the beginning of the year, from the opening of the year, after the day of Nyepi, during a whole year, we have an accumulation of dirt, diseases, sins, other negative elements, which accumulate month after month. Yeah. And when we reach the 9th month of the Balinese calendar, which is, I won't explain it to you, which is the last, it's called the 9th month, but it's the last one for some odd reason in Balinese computation of time. Yeah. When it reaches the last month of the calendar, the Balinese think that the Earth, the globe, is dirty and has to be cleansed. And it will be totally cleaned or cleansed after a number of ceremonies here. And perhaps several of you have witnessed on the street, perhaps several of you have witnessed in the last few days, or on beaches, you have witnessed elements of this ceremony. Because if I tell you that dirt is accumulating, it means that the gods and their companions have accumulated dirt, at least symbolic dirt, for the duration of the past year. And they have to be cleansed. They have to be cleansed both physically and symbolically. What you may have seen in the last few days, you may have seen processions of effigies with barong, with figures from theater, procession of people going either to the river or preferably to the sea. And they go to the sea for a single purpose, to cleanse their gods. And it starts, usually it starts what we call the Melasti ceremony. So it's a sort of pilgrimage going to the sea. And it starts usually around midday on the day of Melasti. Let's say it was yesterday or 3 days ago, before the end of the year, by people taking out the effigies from the temples, directed by the temple priest. Each of their deity was taken to what we call the Bali Agung. You see the main pavilion set in the village temple. And once all the gods from the village, which means the gods from the territorial village, the gods from the naval temple, no, territorial village, territorial temple, the god from the Purification, you see, naval temple, and the gods from the death temple, you see, Purodalam. These gods, with the ancestral gods from clan temples, are all brought to the pavilion within the village temple, and there the priest call the deity, the gods, ancestral gods, territorial gods, to come and dwell in their effigy. Once they are there, they have been prepared, you see, they have been, flowers have been provided for them, small exorcisms have taken place to prevent negative forces from taking over and disturbing the ceremony. And at a given moment, the village priest decide to depart and go to the beach with all the gods. It's what you may have seen in the last few days here. And where do they go? They go to the river, or preferably, they go to the sea. Why do they go to the sea? Because the sea is the ultimate reservoir of dirt. It's where everything is cleansed. The sea is also symbolically the milken sea of the Hindu mythology, you see. When the demons and the gods, you see, when they churned the milken sea to produce the elixir of immortality, which we call the amerta, you see. And so people take their deity to the sea. When they reach the sea, normally a bamboo platform has been set on the beach or by the river. And when they reach the sea, you see there is a priest on top of this bamboo platform, ideally a high caste priest, which, while people are nearing the sea, you see, is reciting mantra. Mantra with Vedic connotation. Because I forgot to tell you, this sacred calendar is where Hinduism is at its peak, whereas in the first calendar, it's indigenous. So they recite mantra, and they take the effigies into the sea, while the high priest is mumbling, reciting his prayers. At the same time, they let ducks or animals within the sea. It's a very strong moment because the seawater is going to be turned through the magic of the uttering of holy syllables. Is going to be turned into amerta, into the elixir of life, the mythical elixir of life. Yeah. Then the priest sprinkles, you see, the newly processed elixir of life, sprinkles onto the attending populace. Yeah. At this moment, quite often, there are local people who get, or some attending low officials, low priests, they get into a trance. And then, what do they do then? They go back to the village, where they set the effigies, still in the Bali Agung, in the village pavilion, to dwell there for the whole duration of the upcoming ceremonies, which means for the whole duration of the Tawur Agung, Ogoh-Ogoh, Nyepi, until the end of the day of silence. So the effigies will stay in the village, and the gods, the ancestral gods, are supposed to remain residing into or within their effigies for the whole duration of the upcoming ceremonies. So, what has taken place? Basically, actually, a physical cleansing of the deity. And now, since the deities have been cleansed, we have to exorcise not only the deities, but together with the deities, we have to exorcise the whole world. It's what is going to take place tomorrow. Normally, it's going to take place tomorrow at noon. When I say it's the whole world which is going to take place, what does it mean? It means that the world will be cleansed horizontally. All the spaces, all the villages, all the kingdoms in Bali horizontally have to be cleansed through an exorcism. What we call this ceremony, it's a great exorcism. It produces holy water of exorcism to appease the forces from the lower world. But beside the horizontality of the cleansing, you also have a verticality of cleansing. The priest have to cleanse the lower world, let's say the Chthonian world or earthly world, what we call the Boer in Balinese. They have to cleanse the middle world, what we call the world of humans, and they have to cleanse as well, through an exorcism, the upper world. But for each of these strata, you normally, or you should have, 3 different priests, 3 specialized priests. Yeah. And let me tell you, because perhaps some of you here are Buddhist. Yeah. The priest occupying the middle ground, who is located on a platform. You have 3 priests on the same platform. The priest in the middle is the Pedande Buddha, is the Buddha priest. Sitting at a higher position, with a slightly different type of tayara. You have a Shivayat, Shivayit or Shivayat priest, you see, addressing the forces from the upper world. And lower than the Buddha priest, you have another character who is cleansing the earthly world. So it's quite extraordinary to see, you see, the role and the specialization of the types of priesthood, you see, to achieve balance into this world, you see. And each of these priests, each has his own set of mantra, has his own type of bell, and has his own tayara. And they belong to different kinship groups, different clans, you see. The Shiwa priests are normally, not always in modern Bali, but normally of Shiwa Brahmin. The middle priest is a Buddha Brahmin, and the lower priest is a Sanghu, supposed to be Vishnuite. And so they through the occurrence of their complementary mantra, you see, they cook, I dare say they cook the negative aspects of the world and they cleanse it. But they are not alone. Because at the same time, what has taken place in Besaki, in the mother temple of Bali, special type of holy water, what we call Tirta Tawur Agung, has been prepared by the high priesthood there. And this holy water, part of it has been prepared locally, but to this holy water has been added holy water coming from all the main temples in Bali, the principal temples in Bali, the temples corresponding theoretically to the directions of the compass here. So you have these holy waters being taken a few days, perhaps yesterday or 2 days ago, perhaps today, being taken to Besaki, being put together with the holy water prepared in Besaki, and on Besaki, on the Besaki, the main temple of Bali. In Besaki, you have a big, I don't know, you see big containers here. And tomorrow morning, they will send small, I don't know, small vessels of Gunung Agung holy water, Besaki holy water. They will send containers to the main, you call that, to the main, not the kingdoms, to the main département, we say in French, to the main regencies of Bali. Each regency will get an amount of holy water. And then this regency will divide its holy water between the sub-regencies. And the sub-regencies will divide it to each village. So at the end of the day, you have holy water being prepared in Gunung Agung, being distributed throughout the island, and being mixed with the holy water prepared by the three sadaka, by the three different types of priests. So you see the complexity, you see, to achieve the cleansing. And this cleansing has taken place, I forgot to tell you, together with sacrifice of animals. In the most simple way, what is being sacrificed are 5 chicken of different colors. Why different colors? 5 colors. You have the 4 main colors of the compass, to which you have to add the 5th one, corresponding to Shiwa, the one put into the middle. Sometimes it's not at a slightly higher level. It's not chicken. It might be dogs of different colors, or For it might be also, it might be cow, it might be cow buffalo, it might be goose, it might be pig, and I forgot the other one. Yeah. 5 again. You see, to cover the whole space symbolically, to cleanse the upper world, the lower world, the middle world, and just everybody. That's what is going to take place tomorrow at noon. And the holy waters prepared locally, yeah, with the 3 priests. Sometimes there are not 3 priests, yeah. Sometimes they may do with an ordinary priest. But let's say the best is when you have the 3 priests, yeah. So it's the peak of the ceremony. The world is going to be exorcised tomorrow. We are going to get rid of all the dirt. And people will think, when they think of dirt, they will think about what is happening in the Middle East, what is happening in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Ukraine, you see, all the dirt accumulated in the world, you see. And that's what is most extraordinary, is that in the rites here, we see the attention paid by the Balinese to balance, to cosmic balance here. I must add, together, or after the ceremony which is going to take place tomorrow, normally at the main crossroad of the village here, people in their individual houses have also prepared a small exorcism to cleanse also their dwelling place, you see, their house. And they have prepared, as a symbol of humans, they have prepared what we call the Wong Wonga, which means the little people. The little people. The little people are supposed to run wild. After the exorcism has been done, is the time where the exorcism at the house, at the center of the kitchen, a small exorcism. They have prepared the little people, some sort of small puppets made from rice. Yeah. So they cleanse the house. It's only then that we do have what? That we do have the Ogoh-Ogoh. After the world has been cleansed, we have to get rid of the symbol of disorder one last time before the demons quiet down for the day of Nyepi. Is when the Ogoh-Ogoh go around and become wild around the city, around the villages. But what perhaps no one among you know, the Ogoh-Ogoh, it's a new thing. Originally, it had little to do with Bali. I told you 5 minutes ago, people in their houses would make small effigies as symbols of the demons, yeah, which have to be celebrated before shutting up, you see, for a whole day There was no Ogoh-Ogoh 40 years ago. The Ogoh-Ogoh became part of the cleansing, but also part of something else, part of the modernity. People created the Ogoh-Ogoh as a way to remain on the same line as the traditional cleansing, but in a new way, which would catch the attention of foreigners. It was related to tourism. So the Ogoh-Ogoh actually is like these small rice effigies which have been made giant and let go on rampage as an addition to the traditional ritual. It's something new. At the same time, the Balinese, they take it seriously. It has now become part of the rites. It's part of the last outpour of wild energy, just after the ultimate exorcism of Tawur Agung. So they go around the village, and when we reach 11, 12 at night, it stops and they are burned. But there is another aspect to that, is that Nyepi itself, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, people didn't pay any attention to Nyepi. People would play cards. Yeah, they wouldn't respect the day of silence. They would walk. You had cars. Nyepi hadn't been transformed into an important event in the Balinese rituals. So it's where we see the link. I was full of admiration regarding the need of balance here. Now we are seeing, you see, the infiltration or the arrival of politics of identity. Because I forgot the name, it was around 90, I forgot the date. It's only then that the Indonesian government decided to turn Nyepi into a national holiday. And all of a sudden, it became a sign of Balinese identity. Yeah. And it became a sign of Balinese identity, all the more so that you had an inflow of tourists, plus an inflow of people with different beliefs, Muslims. So all of a sudden, Nyepi, which is supposed to be a moment of silence, reflection, meditation, without light, without love, without any pleasure. Actually, this was created, kind of created, because the Balinese knew Nyepi previously, but it was casual Nyepi, and it could change from village to village. And all of a sudden, after the recognition of Nyepi, it became a sign of Balinese identity. So, religion social change, politics of identity. And why does it mean? Because even though I don't know what has been the ultimate decision of the Muslim authorities in Java, but if after tomorrow we do have at the same time the Eid al-Fitr, where people are reveling in joy, and the Balinese in Bali having to keep quiet, compelled to keep quiet by the local authorities, the enforcers of Balinese truth, which is a new thing, truth. But now it has become a truth. And so on the one side, you have festivities, on the other side, you have meditation. What is going to take place? I don't know. Yeah. Globalization is not what we thought it would be. It's supposed to be brotherhood. Sometimes it turns into the opposite. So, of course, let's go back to the norm of Nyepi. In Nyepi, when Nyepi was unearthed to become a national day, and for the Balinese, the day of their identity. People undug from ancient literature the principles which were to be respected. So they were told, and the words which were unearthed were not just any word. These were words from an old Javanese, kawi, so with deeper meaning because mixed of Sanskrit. So you have Amatigni, you must know fire, Amati Lelungan, no travel, that's in ancient Balinese, Amati career, okay, forbidden to work, and Amati Lelangon, forbidden to have pleasure. Don't make love on Nyepi, or if you do it, don't show it to anyone. Because, which is very interesting, it is becoming so identified with Bali now. 2 hours ago, or 1 hour ago, when I was here, there was a fellow, an interesting fellow. He was saying that the Balinese should teach Nyepi to other parts of the world as part of the ecology. So you see how ideas travel. How ideas are strangely formed, shaped, and how they travel and they change their meaning. Because, of course, the one who was thinking of Nyepi as having to be accepted the world over didn't think of Nyepi as an aspect of Balinese politics of identity, you see. So, all this is very, very interesting. So, on Nyepi, stay home, enjoy yourself, close your shutters, and you're not supposed to do anything yet. But you have to be aware and wary that Nyepi starts not at 12 o'clock tomorrow night. It starts when the sun is rising after tomorrow morning. And the day will last, I shouldn't say 24 hours because hours do not exist in Balinese, but it will stay a full day and night until the following morning. So don't do anything before the sun rises after tomorrow, yeah, which we call Mbagini, which means called the revival of fire. Yeah. So after Nyepi, at least if we go back into Balinese symbolism and forget the politics of identity, yeah, there is another step, you see, within the cycle of ceremonies cleansing the world. Yeah. Take the Melasti, you take the gods to the river, to the sea, to cleanse them. On tomorrow morning, on Tawur Agung, you have a huge exorcism with the 3 levels and with the holy water. After that, you have the Ogoh-Ogoh. After that, you have Nyepi proper. And then the following full moon, we have a ceremony called in Balinese Batare Turun Kabeh, which means all the gods are coming down. And this ceremony is taking place on the foot of the Holy Mountain at the Mother Temple of Besaki, which I talked about at the beginning. Yeah? And there you have all the gods, or most villages, all the regencies sending their effigies to gather there. And it's going to last 21 days, yeah. So now if we try to think about this system, because actually, to us, when we're here, we see this or that aspect here, and we normally don't see it as a system, even though actually it's a recurrent system of cleansing year after year, yeah. And a system which is always involving the peasant communities, which is one of the reasons why they stick so much together. Yeah. And another interesting aspect here is this Sac year. The references are mostly references using, you see, what I call a Vedic mantle, which means only sentences, only mantras, with derived indirectly or directly from the Hindu corpus. It's the Hindu aspect of Balinese tradition.